Good afternoon. Welcome to the Orange County Funding Corporation meeting. Finance meeting, sorry. The time is 4:06. I apologize, I ran a little late. Can we call the meeting to order?
You sure can. You would like a roll call?
Yes, I would.
All right, Mark Green.
Present.
We have Jeff Christ.
Here.
Dean Tambury.
Present.
Linda Muller.
Here.
We have 4 members present. We also have one of our board members, Giovanni Palladino, as well. Also present staff, Kelly Riley, Bill Fioravanti, Marty Barras, Jose Rojas here with Acquisitions Marketing doing our AV. And Mr. Brian Savage is our guest here from Mansion.
All right, notice was duly provided.
Yes, sir. Right on the next page.
Fantastic. Let's get to the minutes. I know it's been a while. Hopefully you had a chance to review them from our last meeting, June 26th of 2024. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll start with.
How about, can I get a second?
I'll second.
All right. Any questions or discussions about those minutes? No hands, then can I get an all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm going to abstain. I wasn't at the meeting.
All right, 3-4, one abstain.
Very good. Motion carries.
Motion carries. All right, let's get into some new business. Bill, you gonna review the financial report for us, please?
Yeah, June and July. Of course, we had no meeting in July, pardon me. Here we are in August. So you're gonna see both June and July financials on these reports. We're going right to page 5 for the P&L statement. Again, months of June, July of 2024. I'm just gonna go down the actual columns here. You see our interest earnings, thanks to our investments, which is fabulous. We had a CD turnover, so that's why you're seeing that kind of hit in June. Another $169 in July. As we get into, so by the way, our total income is $15,148 in June and $169.92 in July. Get into expenses, again, going back and forth, we've got our management fee expense, which is the OCFC's share of our total overhead. Then we've got some bookkeeping expenses and insurance expenses, all typical, where we have, let's see, I'm not going to total the expenses yet. Getting down, well, the rest, there's not much else except in July, $365 for legal. So we have total expenses in June of $7,992.69 for a net income of $7,155.37 in June. Over in July, we have total expenses of $12,202.71 and a net income of negative $12,032.79. That's our P&L. Any questions on the income statement? All right, page 6 basically just shows everything since
Hold on.
Pardon me.
I think we need to start over again. I have a feeling somehow.
It's together?
Yeah, I think unfortunately we got IDA for both. So I don't know if it's just my copy, but
Yeah, mine says Funding Corp.
you got Funding Corp, Orange County Funding Corp, right?
Yep, what is the heading?
That's the one that you just read from, Bill.
I read from OCFC.
Yes.
Okay, I have Industrial Development Agency.
I think he just has a bad page.
Can I,
Maybe give a copy back, Kelly?
you know what?
Or give me yours?
Hold on. Let me see, I'll take it out of the main packet and see if that's got it.
Sure. Just got another final packet, right?
Beautiful, I got it, we're good. Thank you,
Oh.
thank you so much.
That's weird.
It happens. All right, so.
You want me to start again?
No, I'm gonna run through it real quick. Managing expense, got that. Agency support. Got that. Payroll expenses, got that. You said net income 8,072 was for budget, actual
Right, actual,
was
correct,
negative.
7,000.
Yeah, actual for June.
For June is a positive 7,155.37,
Okay.
and in July, a loss of 12,032.79.
Yep, okay.
Okay. When we get into page 6, this is what you've seen the last few months. I like this. This is showing basically every payable that happened since our last meeting up until now that came through. That's what page 6 is here. So you're seeing some bills in between the last approval, essentially, before what you're about to approve. Let me know if you have any questions on those. Charges in the middle being the management fee expense, those most significant. Oh, so do I have a different page 6? That's what I'm looking at, Mark.
Okay, so I don't have,
Well, now you're back in, are you back in the board meeting?
yeah,
That's fine, maybe, yeah.
okay.
Sorry, you have the chairman have one bad report.
That's all right.
It's not helpful.
No.
Okay, so, yes, those are transaction lists by vendor since the last meeting till now. Any questions on those charges? Okay, we're gonna keep moving. Page 7, cash and equivalents. See, we've got a couple of T-bills with JP Morgan, totaling about $1,050,000, and a 12-month CD with Lakeland Bank at $600,000. Then we get down to checking account, our operating account of $131,300 in Chase Bank. So we have a total with those CDs and treasuries, plus our checking account of a total of $1.88 million, $1,880,388. Total balance for OCFC.
And we'll come back to this.
Okay? Yes, we'll come back to the maturing T-bill. Page 8 is basically just the list of OCFC's share of our overhead. So that makes up the management fee expense. Seeing it for both months.
Okay.
That's page 8 and page 9 for June and July. Those are your financials for OCFC.
I have a question.
Sure.
On page number 9,
Mm-hmm.
these are the management fees? They're $9,763.74. On the actual P&L, you've got $11,837.71, if I'm reading it right.
I have, okay, now you see, I have 10,795.
Well, she's reading the total. She's reading 11,000 in the bottom, 11,837.71.
Which is
That's
administrative
because
costs.
they're the month skewed. Because I asked our CFO that same question, and she says because it's a month skewed. So you'll see that next month.
But it is correct for June.
June
Is correct.
June is on. But in July, the number is 10,700, I have 10,795.48.
Correct.
Oh, there it is, sorry,
Yeah,
sorry,
that's
sorry,
fine.
yeah.
But it's still,
It's still off.
Yeah.
It's still off
It's still off.
by
That was-
almost $1,000.
Yep.
We don't,
She did
I'll go
give
back
Kelly
and
an
ask
answer
her
on it.
again. I did ask her, and she sent me the note telling me it's
Yeah.
because it's a month skewed, is what her reasoning was.
Fortunately, when we moved this meeting, she was able to make it.
all right.
Can I
But
pull
I
3 million?
will
and put it-
definitely go back and ask her about it.
We'll reply via email to you on that.
Okay,
Right away.
I don't know what.
As soon as we get a hold of
well,
it.
I mean, I know what skewed means, I just don't know what month skewed means in
Yeah.
finance. If you want to talk statistics, I'm your guy.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know if we have an answer, other than we're just gonna have to wait to hear back from her. But, yeah, it would be nice to understand why, I mean,
So,
we're
but
August
if you
15th.
look at the checks that we wrote, it says it's $10,795.48.
All right, so we haven't had checks cashed. So it hits accounting when the check is written for proper accounting, and some checks have not been cashed yet.
Yeah, I
Which
think
is
we just put
why-
them
That would
into
be
the
the
account,
difference.
right?
That's the difference. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
That's the result.
That's the answer. All right. Thank you.
So we can do approvals at, all together, if you like, you know, on the financials, if you want to get right into the table.
Well, we still have to go back and do the CDs. You want to do that separate, then approving these first?
Yeah, however, whatever order you want to do.
All right.
That's all we got left.
Do we have any, so you want to approve the financials first?
I don't, yes.
Yes, okay. Does anyone have any questions, other questions about the financials?
No.
All right, so then why don't we, can I get a vote to,
I'll make the motion.
thank you,
Second.
thank you. Any questions? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So, four yes.
Motion carries.
Motion carries, all right.
Shall we review the June, July, August payables?
For FC?
FC.
Yes.
Yes. Kelly, can you do that?
We already did that, I thought.
Yeah.
Do we approve them, with the payables?
Yeah,
You voted to do both?
on page 6.
Do we vote to recommend to the board to pay them?
I thought you just.
Is that what you just did? I'm sorry,
just
I
voted
mis-
for
I
both.
misunderstood.
I think we, Kelly, can you go through the payables real quick, please?
Sure. We have 2 checks going out for BH, our council. The 2 checks are for the, going to the IDA for that pass-through, or whatever you want to call it, of those 2 invoices that we were just discussing. And the last 2 are our CFO. It's for 2 months, for June and July.
All right, so we kind of glanced over that. The next thing, I think maybe, let's just reapprove that. I thought, these 2. I'm assuming that this is because I'm trying to do that. That's a different thing. So that's my fault again, my confusion. I was bouncing between both, so I saw the credit card.
Okay.
So we have approved it, we're good to go.
My
Everything's
apologies,
approved.
my apologies. One of our guests was right, so, okay, we're good to go. So, CD.
CD, all right, can you turn the page, well, I don't know what page it is for you, whatever the CD page is.
7.
Page 7.
Right.
We have one that's coming due on the 19th of September. When is our meeting in September?
18th.
The 18th? I mean, in theory, we could wait.
I'd rather not as well.
Okay.
Logistics involved.
Okay, let's just hammer this out. I think there is at least, and I think it's already baked into the numbers you can see, I would say there's at least a 90% chance that the Fed is going to lower rates at their next meeting, based on some of the information that came out this week, and my bias that it is an election year. So regardless of that, you can see, did everyone get one of these sheets?
Yes.
So you can see, again, in theory, if we wanted to keep our process, which is staggered every 3 months, then we should be looking at the 9-month column, which would then, if we reinvested on the 19th, that would mature sometime in June, probably middle of June, which again would stagger the Lakeland, that'll come due in January, the JP Morgan T-bill, that'll come due in March. We have 2 choices. They are both, they have pluses and minuses. The Lakeland 9-month is a 4.6%, which you can see is already a drop from the last time we discussed. And then we have the JP Morgan Treasury bill, which is at 4.46%. The advantage for one is Lakeland is the higher return. The JP Morgan allows us to continue to diversify. I'm open to anyone's thoughts or opinions on what they would lean either way.
Well, I was just say that, I mean, either way, if we go JP or the Lakeland, we're still kind of, you know, our money's either gonna be larger with JP or larger with Lakeland, right? Equally. But why, I always thought like the rates would like be a little better the longer you left it. It seems like it's
No, because
We're projecting they're gonna go.
gonna go down.
the banks are now saying,
Yeah.
we expect rates to go down. We do not want to be locked in to pay you more than what the rates will be when this thing matures,
Okay.
because then they lose their juice.
And
So-
then, the only other thing we talked about, you guys said the fees for the treasury, right? There's some fees, but.
Yeah, I mean, it is a couple of percentage points, so in theory, the JP Morgan is probably closer to a 4.40 than a 4.46, because it does come with a fee. So in essence, you're looking at 4.40 versus 4.60 would be my back of the envelope.
Because aren't these rates gonna change before our CD matures?
Maybe?
Because we could revisit that at our next meeting if we're sort of ready, or?
We could, I think some of us were sensing that it's gonna be tight there, that there is a timeline, it takes some work to do, so if we could try and make a decision, but we could check that decision in September
Yeah.
to see what rates are.
We probably would. Can we
You have
at
the
least,
rationale done now, pardon me.
Yeah,
is what
I'm good
saying.
with that.
can we agree or discuss, are we all good with doing 9 months
Yes.
to keep the staggering? Okay, so then we're agreed. Yeah, we can't lock these rates in until that one comes due. So, you know, there's really, I would say that's about it. And Jeff, I think you bring up about, a very valid point. Don't know what these rates are gonna
Yeah.
be between now and then. So, basically, we talked, but nothing's gonna get done.
Right, okay. But I think it's helpful.
It's
Yeah.
always good to
We moved the
communicate.
ball a little bit. We did. It's
All
always
right.
good to communicate.
So our meeting in September is the 18th,
Correct.
so the day before.
Yeah, so
The day before it matures, right?
Kelly will have to, do your best to get the,
Is there any more information that Kelly could have, like, for example, you're gonna make this an even amount again, correct?
yes, and you know what, in hindsight, I think we have some other things we're gonna discuss with
Yes.
OCFC
That's what I'm
anyway,
thinking right now.
and we might actually need some of this
Yeah,
money.
so I was thinking about that as well.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if that excess was gonna be sufficient or not. but-
Yeah,
We haven't left ourselves with much to work with.
yeah, I mean, we could, if we had to, we could, but
Yeah, but I'd rather.
rather not. So, all good points. So I would say this, Kelly, if at our next meeting, you could have your sheet up to date as much as possible, we'll be able to make a quick decision, and we're gonna focus on the 9 month. And we'll pull the trigger very quickly. And like I said, we'll have more discussions later on today that might dictate how much we can actually reinvest. Make sense?
Very good.
All right, so there's nothing to approve, nothing to disapprove.
Correct.
All right, so what else you want to talk
That's
about?
well, I think we should talk about adjourning this meeting.
I agree wholeheartedly. Since nothing else is on the docket for right now, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Fantastic. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? 4 ayes. Good afternoon. I would like to call to order the Orange County IDA Finance Committee meeting. Can we get call the meeting to order? Can we do a roll call, please?
We can. Mr. Mark Green.
Present.
All right, Jeffrey Christ.
Here.
Dean Tamburri.
Here.
Linda Muller.
Here.
All right, we have 4 of our 4 committee members present. We also have board member Giovanni Palladino with us. And as for staff, myself, Bill Fioravanti, Kelly Riley, Marty Barras, Jose Rojas from Acquisitions Marketing doing our AV, and Mr. Brian Sandridge from Anshin. Those are your attendees.
Fantastic. All right, so notice of this meeting was properly provided.
Yes.
All right, first order is minutes. We need an approval of minutes from our last meeting on June 26th of 2024. Can I get a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll second.
Excellent. May I get a second?
Second.
Second. All right. Any discussion or questions or suggestions anyone may have? No questions, then may I call all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I will abstain.
3 yeas, 1 abstain.
Motion carries.
All right, let's move on to new business. Bill, you're gonna review?
Yes.
our-
We're gonna look at the income statement, the profit and loss statement, that will show us actuals for both June and July of 2024. I have those on page 5. And let's do can we do a number check here? Bottom right number, 327,274.59?
Yep.
Terrific,
Yes.
all right, we're all on the same sheet of music. Okay, so this time I'm gonna go through June and then go through July. Starting in June, in the actual column, management fee income, again, and you'll see that broken out here, but that is the OCID's share of the management expense. We have interest earnings from our investments for a total income of $25,276.68. Getting into expenses, we have our bookkeeping expenses, insurance, office supplies, those are all typical. You've got travel and lodging from my trip to Cooperstown, the conference. Getting down into agency support, our IT charges, marketing, PR, are all typical for the month. Getting into project and program expenses, cost benefit analysis. We just bought the housing analysis tool, the cost benefit analysis tool from MRB, so that's what that is. Then we have our legal counsel expenses and shovel ready. That is the second of 2 payments to RF Con, helping to manage our Fast New York project. And I'm carrying on into payroll expenses. So we have our employee benefits, payroll taxes, and salaries, all typical. Moving down into building expenses, our rent and CAMs, plus building utilities, internet, telephone, and maintenance, all pretty typical. So we have total expenses for June of $61,970.54, with a net operating income of negative $36,693.86. Now moving into July, going back to the top. Sorry, any questions on June?
Question for you.
Sure, sorry.
Why, I've noticed this last couple of months, why is our rent not in line with what we budgeted?
The CAM charges went up.
I say it's the CAMs, what it is.
They re-looked at the CAM charges for 2024 and they redid them and they went up. So we had to go and pay back from
Significantly.
January to May or whatever they redid them, and then going forward it's a higher number.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna start at the top here under actual for July, in that first column there, the July section. We have an application fee, that's for the community solar project we have, yeah, no revenue there. We had another fee that we charged to Crossroads Court, a hotel that was sold. It was for an estoppel agreement, so we charged $2,500 for that. We have our share of the management fee expense for IDA. And then we have a total income for July of $12,618.76. Now getting into expenses, we actually had a bank service charge refunded to us. I want to underscore that. So we do try and get those refunded when we can. We have our bookkeeping expenses, our regular insurance, office and postage. We have professional fees. Professional fees are mostly made up of Anshin and a small number amount that go into our 401k for those fees. Travel and lodging in line. Moving down to agency support. We have ITs a little bit higher this month at $20,045. I did buy a new laptop. I've been warning you that for a while. Charged for our live stream, our GoDaddy, all the usual expenses, plus one of our new website payments at $16,000. So that's why that comprises most of that. And moving on, we've got marketing expense in line, membership and events also in line. Down to projects and programs, over $8,000 of legal expenses. Below that, I misspoke when I talked about June. In June, it was the first of 2 payments. In July, it's the second of 2 payments to RF Con for managing our Fast New York program. Getting down to payroll, again, typical, everything in line for benefits, payroll, taxes, etc. And then getting into building expenses, again, you're seeing our rent plus CAMs, building utilities, etc. So we have total expenses for July of $153,280.08 for a total loss for the month of $140,661.32. Those are your profit and loss statements for June and July of this year. Any questions?
We're going to go down transaction by vendor on page 6.
Yep, well, we've been reviewing this item by item, not this one, I don't think, right?
We have to review this one.
Is this, oh, this is what we're paying going forward, right?
This
So,
is the payments that we've made from June 18th through August 7th.
exactly, so that we've made and will be going forward. This one looks a little different, so let's see if we can.
This is because it's 2 months' worth.
Okay, beautiful, exactly. Go ahead, Kelly. Let's review.
88 Studios is, the 350 is the normal monthly payment, but then you see the 2 other payments of $15,748 and $1,500 is a website and the logo charge. Acquisition is this pretty much the same, it's just the 2 monthly invoices. And then you'll see the 2 invoices for Anshin. The payment for the grant guy, Arnold Khan. Our council payments, which is 2 months. The complete document solution is our printer, and that's for 2 months. Credit cards is the 2 months. It's just normal GoDaddies and all that stuff. The Googles and some office supplies and stuff like that. And we also have the credit cards behind this showing you where the payments are, copies of the credit cards. The Crystal Rock is the water for water thing over there.
Cooler, yeah.
Cooler, it's for 2 months. EC Media is the pictures for the new website. That's where we're talking to Everett. Allant is our credit card, and that consists of our QuickBook payments and GoDaddy, and that's also behind this as far as the breakdown for the credit card. Fellenzer is our labor monitor. The first one is for Legoland. That's bills that they just sent us from December through April. And then the next one is for Royal Wine, which is January through April bills. That's why you're gonna see those amounts are so high. The Royal Wine is a pass-through from escrow account. You'll see your first Columbia. The one is the electric, and the second one is our rent. Harris Beach is for Paris reporting, paying them to help us with that. ITC is our phone system. KR Cleaning is the 2 months of cleaning for July and August. LAN is our labor monitor, and those are all pass-throughs for Lenches, OC Hospitality in West Warwick 1, 2, and 3. The next one is the Mid-Hudson News. That's a monthly bill. It's the same. Orange County Partnership, Bill went to a meeting there or an event. Pamela Broadcasting is his, I don't know, your radio and
spots.
stuff. RBT is our bookkeeping, that's for 2 months. Town of Warwick Water and Sewer, that was for our Warwick accelerator down there, which this is the last bill that you will see. And that's also an amount of money that we will be getting from Scripted Fragrance because we charge them all the can charges. WB Mason is where we get some of our office supplies. Xerox is for the monthly copies of all the papers that we print out and the trees that we cut down and stuff. And Salties is our phone system, and that's for 2 months.
Any questions on that? All right, moving along. The next page is our credit card statement. Both our credit card statements, I should say. Coming in through page 7, 8, and 9. And then jumping to page 10, cash and equivalents. First of all, you see our 12-month CD with Lakeland Bank, $5 million, and 2 9-month JP Morgan T-bills, one at just under $1.8 million, next at just under $2.5 million. And we have 2 checking accounts, IDA Operations in Chase at $224,115, and then our Orange Bank and Trust escrow account, $81,533. So we have a total of cash and other deposits, $9,604,944 for Orange County IDA. I think that's it besides the CD. Because we want to approve those. Recommend to the board for approval. Unless there's any questions.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Okay, can I get a yea or nay?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm going to abstain
Okay.
on principle,
Okay.
and I'll be willing to discuss why I'm abstaining when we have our full meeting.
Okay. Okay. We had our vote. CD.
This one, we are going to have to address. Since this one comes up on September 5th of 2024, I think we're going to have to, as you all mentioned before, all your points were dead on, that rates may fluctuate a little bit between now and then, so we're gonna have to give some leeway. But I think we've done this enough that that Kelly and Bill will do what we want in the spirit, I'm sure. We have something coming up in January, we have something coming up in March, which would then lead me to believe that we want to do another 9-month. That would then come up in June of next year. Do we all agree that that would be the way to go?
Yes.
I don't understand the months count here. For the one that matures September 5th, it looked like we purchased it on March 12th, which is less than 9 months. I don't know if I'm missing something.
Actually, you point out several things, because the one above it is a
Yeah.
little skewed also.
Yes. That looks like 12.
Can we confirm, Kelly?
Yes, I will.
I mean, I am 99% certain that this is coming due September 5th.
Oh, it definitely is.
Yeah. It's the
So
purchase date
the
today.
start date, the purchase dates might be off,
Okay.
but I'm almost positive that the maturity dates are correct.
Okay.
And like I said, unless after this meeting, you come back to us, Kelly and Bill, and say that we were wrong, let's go with the assumption that the maturity, it is going to mature on September 5th, and that we need to authorize them to reinvest our funds.
Yeah, we're quite confident this is coming due. And that it's the purchase dates that are erroneous.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's proceed.
So, Mr. Chair, are you looking for a motion to approve the reauthorization of the finances for 9 months for the JP Morgan T-bill that's coming due on the 5th of September?
Correct.
Okay.
And the first step is to agree that if we're going to do the 9 months,
Okay.
the second step would then be to decide, in my eyes, the choice of 2. The 9-month JP Morgan Treasury bill, which, as we discussed before, comes in at roughly a 4.40% because of additional fees, or the Lakeland at 4.6%. So if we're all in agreement to do the 9 months, so we're staggered, then it really comes down to either Lakeland or JP Morgan. Personally, I think we go with Lakeland, but please, any thoughts, let me know.
I like Lakeland.
I do too.
You guys good? You're fine?
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna need to make a motion and phrase it in a way, because there does need to be some flexibility, because we don't know exactly what Lakeland is going to be on September 5th, with things being volatile as they are. So I would say you are authorized to reinvest $2.5 million in a Lakeland 9-month CD, as long as that is, 20, or, 20 basis points more than the JP Morgan. So the 0.2 is what I'm saying when I say basis points. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's less fees about it, right? So it's just.
Yeah, Lakeland doesn't have fees.
Correct.
Right.
And if,
Would it be easier to have a motion that says that we authorize or recommending to the board that they authorize $2.5 million in the highest yield? That way it gives them enough flexibility to be able to go between the two.
That's much better.
Okay.
Less fees, I guess, right?
So do we
Okay.
need to make a motion for
someone could
that?
say so moved, yep.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? 4 yes.
Motion carries. Very good. We can adjourn.
All right, then can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
it.
Second? All in favor?